Welcome to the UNC Player Show on Fan Media Network. Welcome back, George Lynch, starter on the 1993 National Championship team, longtime NBA player. I'm Matt Doherty, 1982 National Champion and former head coach at North Carolina. Welcome back, George.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Of course. This is one of the highlights of my week. UNC is coming off an 82-75 loss in Tallahassee against Florida State. Their record now is 8-5, 3-3. FSU was without star freshman Scotty Barnes. George, what was your takeaway from that game?
Well, I hate to say that more victories are good, but I saw signs of improvement with Harris in the lineup. He gave us that defensive presence on the perimeter that made other teams' guards feel a little uncomfortable. I think he's going to be a great addition once he gets his legs up under him.
Yep. He did give a great spark. I thought that one of the biggest things and always a big challenge for North Carolina when you play a traditional big lineup with a point guard, two wings, and two post players is how do you match up when you're playing against a team that has a power forward that can face up and handle like a three-man. And Raquin Gray of Florida State had a career-high 19 points, and he was 7 of 7 from the foul line, had 5 assists and 3 turnovers. They were running pick and rolls for him as a ball handler. That is so unusual for a big like Brooks to navigate. I mean, it's one thing being out on the ball 25 feet from the basket. The next thing is you're wondering, where's the pick coming from? You have to have great communication from the other big. And then that gave Gray an opportunity to not only drive to the basket and get fouled, but kick out for open threes. And Florida State was 8 of 16 from the three-point line. That's an incredible number. And our defense broke down a bunch, and as a result, Florida State went to the foul line 27 times and made 26 of 27 foul shots. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Normally, we own the free throw attempts it makes in a game, and that's one of those situations where it tells you whether you're aggressive enough.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you look at our bigs, the 4 bigs that we're trying to play defensively, they're more like centers. In the past years with the forwards that we've had, like you said, Jamison, myself, guys who played the 4 were able to switch defensively onto a 3 and 2, and sometimes a 1 guy long enough to have the defense adjust. I think when we're trying to play Brooks and Baycott together or Brooks and Sharp together, we're not as good defensively.
No. And then also, I don't think maybe as efficient offensively because the middle gets jammed up. There's a lot of times where you'll see a ball handler out the three-point line, and then 4 other bodies inside the three-point line. And so it makes it tough to drive the basketball and feed the post. A couple of bright spots. I thought R.J. Davis played fairly well with 16 points. Kerwin Walton continues to shine. Every time he shoots the ball, I think that thing's going in. Brooks did have 12 points. Love shot the ball as well as he has all year, 4 of 10, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, but had 0 assists and 4 turnovers. George, 0 assists, 4 turnovers.
Yeah, that's going to look bad on the grading chart this morning. So it's tough when your lead guard is not making assists, making plays, making the game easier for everyone else.
Exactly right. And I think that's what Harris did in his short time on the court. He played 9 minutes, had 5 points and 3 assists. And it's simple as driving into a gap, creating help and kicking it to an open shooter. He was able to do that. And hopefully, I don't want to put too much on him because I know the reaction is, oh man, maybe we found our point guard. We need to settle down. And the guy's first playing time in over 12 months as he recovered from a knee injury that he suffered in December of 2019. Next up, we have Wake Forest on Wednesday in the Smith Center. That game's moved to 7 o'clock. It was originally a 9 o'clock start. George, I mentioned earlier that I am doing a watch party on, I believe it's Twitter Live. And what we do is we'll watch the game and we'll have people come in with comments, and then I'll repeat or talk live. And if you're not doing anything, we'd love for you to join us Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Would love to be a part of it.
Okay. Lastly, and most importantly, today is Martin Luther King Day. George, happy holiday. And if you don't mind sharing your thoughts on Martin Luther King and what he means to you.
Dr. King means a lot. Growing up in the South, growing up in the 70s, right after, the Civil Rights Marching, he was all about peaceful protests. Although there was times where, you as an African American, you just never felt that the country was on your side or was supporting you or treating you human. He's always stood fast that peaceful protest is the way to go. And then we look at our country today, and on the 16th, they stormed the Capitol. There was a lot of violence and hatred going out there. I believe our country is best when we're all together and, we use our voices and our power to vote to make this world a better world.
Amen. As a white man growing up, and as I continue to study leadership, run a leadership practice, Dr. King, he's his strength, his determination to do things in a peaceful manner, his courage, his willingness to be out front, his ability to communicate, his "I have a dream" speech. I've talked to George Raveling, the former coach at USC and works now at Nike, and he was there as a bodyguard and has a copy of that speech.
Yes.
And Dr. King wrote his notes or had his notes, but didn't go off that. He basically at that point just came from his heart, and one of the most powerful speeches of all time. I have a dream, and hopefully that dream will be fulfilled someday, sooner than later. Well, George, yes. Always a pleasure. You're watching UNC's Player Show on Fan Media Network.
To host a player show or appear as a player on a player show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.